Hello everyone, welcome to yet another session with Be Money Wiser. Now today we're going to talk about a very interesting topic that affects most of us. But before we even discuss any further, let's listen to Irene's experience and carry on from there.
Hello, my name is Irene Mutumba. I'm a teacher by profession. I want to share with you my story about money in family matters. You know, as a family, there are responsibilities. I could talk about my core family, but also the extended family. As a person, one of my values, I'm a very economically independent individual because it helps me do things where I can actually spend freely. But also coming from a selfless kind of trait, I took on that responsibility that somehow I have advantage over others, so I need to help. So I have that heart to help. So I have had to take on so much responsibility within my family and extended. And of course that came through because that's what I saw when I was growing up. I saw my parents, taking on a village and supporting them. But of course responsibility has got its own effects. People actually depend on you. And looking at where we have been in terms of culture, there's a lot of dependency. In Uganda, we have a problem of that dependency syndrome. And families, some people in the families really take it for granted that because so and so has this and this, it is his or her obligation to spend on me. So I have had to take on responsibilities of taking my people to school, paying for their school fees, their personal requirements, those same people coming through and wanting to start a family and contributing towards, for example, this is a kasiki, a kwanjula, a wedding, and even up to now, that responsibility has taken me to even supporting some of their issues if they have kids. So really money matters in family is a very big issue. Sometimes it's controversial because you're obligated to provide, but at the same time it depletes your savings, your reserves, and it's you who has to keep on being creative, coming up with different projects and ideas and activities to make sure that you get an income. And the problem here is that it's a one-way. I've experienced that for quite a long time, being just the provider, the giver. And sometimes the most disappointing thing, sometimes you don't get back that same response in terms of the people that you have helped. But I would say that yes, it is a very important thing. Once we have responsibilities, we actually have to take them on. But at the same time, as we are taking on those responsibilities, we need to empower, we need to expose, we need to train, to give knowledge, to skill, exposure, and give opportunities. And for me, that has actually been one of the catalysts for the so many enterprises that I start, for them to be able to give my family and other young people around me, or even others, an opportunity to actually become socially and economically independent. So it's really give and take in terms of my story. Spending on family is not a bad thing, but how you spend is the issue here that I wanted to talk about. For example, if you have members in your family, of course each of them has got basic needs and wants. It's very, very important to first of all look at your own budget. You, the person who is the provider, look at your own budget and come up with a list of things that you have to spend on, and others where you just be a contributor. So you should not take on the whole burden to spend your whole savings and investment, because then you're drained, what I call financial suffocation. So I wouldn't want any person to go through that, because it takes away your work, your hard work, and at the end of the day, you may not have enough reserves for your retirement. So the first one is have your own budget as an individual, and sit down with the other people that you are looking after and look at what are their basic needs and wants, and what are some of those things that they can contribute themselves. If they do not have the resources or opportunities, you can expose them, you can skill them, you can give them financial knowledge, you can train them in a skill so that they can also make a bit of income to support their needs. Because what we are trying to cap here is the issue of the dependency syndrome. It is very, very important from a very early stage to make sure that the people in your family know that this is a partnership. It's not a one-way. Everybody must have a stake in whatever they need. It may not be purely financial, but also non-financial contribution is very, very important. And to guide them in those entrepreneurial skills, how do they network? Are they networking strategically? Are the people that they networking with, can they be their customers? Can they be their partners in business? So it's very, very important that you have to show your family members that it's not a one-woman's or a one-man's show. This is a partnership, and everyone has to contribute to the issue, whether it's a basic need or a want.
So, like you've heard from Irene's experience, this is an issue that affects most of the families in Uganda. Most of the people that are in formal employment face these challenges, and as you know, it's so hard for you to relax in Kampala and know that you have a good job and know that you're earning all this money when there are people in in our villages that are looking up to us for their sustenance. So you find that at least 8 out of 10 Ugandans have dependents. All these people you see in the big offices have people they have to look after. But then how can we balance this reality? How can we be able to look after the people who matter to us, but without pressing our families that much,
I wouldn't want to think that helping your dependents or any other person is a bad thing.
Yeah.
It isn't, but how you do it does really matter.
Yes.
And in African setup, that's within us. It's something that we found there. When you get a job, when you have an extra source of income, you have someone to support. Either they can be elders, they can be siblings, they can be cousins, which is very good. But we shouldn't do that on the expense of our families, our own families, your spouse, your own children. In terms of education, sometimes have a feel of self-entitlement that if I'm helping Ivan to go to school, he has to go to the top-notch school, to Budo, to Ntare, to Mbara High. Yet they don't feel like they are being helped. So there should be a timeline. You should agree with someone you're helping. By the way, even if you took a loan and things are not going on well, I'm going to pay for you for a certain duration, so that someone knows after 2 months I have to work hard and go back. When you're an elder, you're someone old, you're old enough, I've taken you up, you're in my house, at least wash utensils. Have some responsibilities you're doing.
So that brings us to how you should set the categories if you're to help people. For example, if you're to help someone, you look back and see, how is my family? The first category that you need to look at before any other thing is your family. Are you okay? Before you go and spend the money in a bar, in parties, you consider your people home, your wife, your children, is everything set?
They should actually be the first priority. If your family is taken care of, your wife is okay, your children are fine, then now you can move on to the next level. What's that next level now that people should look out for?
Now, immediately after family, you're very comfortable to look at your parents, your sister, your brother, and any other person that is so much close to you.
And to those who are helping, one, what they should put in consideration: do not help someone fully 100%. Like, if you are supporting someone's child, tell the parents that I'm going to pay 100% of the school fees. You pay the scholastic material. You'll take the child to the school, so that someone keeps involved in someone's life. They don't feel like it's all your burden. They take away the responsibilities.
Now that directly connects to a quote that we are going to have today. To be money wiser is to help others with the knowledge that can help them help themselves.
So people need to be supported to help themselves. Not this business of donating everything, because it makes people relax. It makes people lose focus on their purpose in life.
Yes.
Because they think that even if things don't go well, my uncle will help me, will bail me out. Even if I don't work, people are always looking out for others to support them. But now if you support them to one extent, like Alex has mentioned, and they know that they have to play their part, I think that's what the government also does with UPE, this universal education. They tell you, okay, we shall take care of the tuition.
Now, coming to some of the other two categories, we've looked at family.
Yes.
We've looked at your parents,
Yes.
sisters and brothers. After you're sure that those people are sorted, then you can look at your relatives, your cousins, your aunties, your
Like
judges.
the distant ones.
Yes, the distant relatives.
And the friends?
Then the friends come definitely last.
They should feast on your
The
money
friends,
last.
yes, the friends are the people that we were talking about. The people you drink with, the people that you party with. So before you go to all that about the friends, all the other three categories should be sorted.
Yes.
We can have this conversation until the next day, but definitely time won't allow. To catch other episodes of Be Money Wiser, get onto our social media platforms on Facebook, Twitter, and also subscribe to our YouTube channel to keep updated on what's happening and being money wiser.